Cheers. Can everyone hear me? Okay, great. All right, well, thank you for coming today. I just want to ask a couple of questions first. How many of you are marketers? You work in marketing at all? Yeah, okay, great, there's a few. How many of you are dealing with video at all in your role? Yeah, okay, great. I think obviously everyone is demanding video nowadays. Doesn't matter if you're in finance or HR or content creation in marketing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about where we've come from and where we're going with regards to content creation. Okay, so I open with this stat. You've probably all seen this stat before. It's pretty much shown at every talk that has something to do with content. But basically, video traffic will be 82% of consumer internet traffic by 2021. So the implications of that are quite clear. 82% of messaging with your consumers is going to be in the format of video in a few short years. Now we look at the changing role of video, and I'm going to go a bit of a time warp back here to the year 2000. We're looking at about almost 20 years now, but the changing role of video is actually just so different when we look at back then to now. So we look at the year 2000, everything was TVC dominated. Every big company had a TV commercial. It was agency driven. You pretty much handed a big chunk of money to your agencies and said, make us something beautiful. There was very little personalization. You were using the same piece of content across pretty much all of your consumers. It was not really localized. It was one piece of content for say, all of the UK going out on TVs. And it was really hard to track ROI on TV commercials back then. You pretty much got a metric that said, here is how many people watched your TV commercial in this radius of space. So it wasn't really the best investment for videos, but you had to do it because everyone else was doing it. A company's video strategy in the year 2000 might have looked a little something like this. You see Company X, they had a big TV commercial and went for 30 seconds. They spent $500,000 with their agency of choice to create it, and then they distributed it on TV for about £1 million for the year. So it's really simple video strategy in the year 2000. Now, if we look from 2000 through to 2016, 2018, where we are now, there's been a few key changes in technology that have really changed the landscape of video. The first is production equipment. Cameras themselves have become so much cheaper to purchase. They're so much smaller, they're much more intuitive, they're producing much higher content, and they're so much easier to use. And it's quite easy for anyone now to duck down to one of Curry's PC World and pick up a really nice camera and create really high quality content that far surpasses the content we were creating, say, even in 2008, 2009. The audience has changed. I mean, we've seen the new technologies such as Brightcove here, who are hosting on a multitude of different channels and platforms. You've got social media, which is constantly opening up new channels every single day. You've got increased demand for personalization and localization, so these consumers are wanting the right piece of content for them. We're almost at a point now where you're watching content dependent on what you Google search 30 minutes beforehand. So it's really personalized. And obviously localized as well. I mean, a big thing here in the UK, everyone seems to be very into this football thing. And you're not going to show a Arsenal fan something that relates to a Tottenham fan. It just doesn't work that way. So we really want to make sure we're localizing, we're pinpointing the right person with our content. And obviously increased media exposure. You've got so much competition when it comes to video content now. You've got 1 million ads hitting everyone every single day. So it's really competitive. And of course, recently actually, and it hasn't been until recently, that you can really record analytics and insights off the back of your content. All of these new technologies that are giving us increased detail as to what's working, what's not working, who's seeing what, why they're seeing it, where they're dropping off. It really gives us a lot more control over the content we're creating and pushing out. So now, the year 2018. Anyone can create content. We're seeing things like user-generated content take flight, basically people shooting stuff on their iPhones. We've got almost 80% of all internet traffic being video. We've got really granular data and analytics saying who's watching what, where, and when, and why. We're also seeing seemingly infinite channels. There's always a new channel. There's always a new type of video that's resonating with a whole bunch of new people. And it's very personalized. And I think it's just the tip of the iceberg as well. When, I said at the start, we've got content for HR now, we've got content for finance teams talking about their updates, we're talking about CEOs addressing town halls and that kind of thing. So video is humongous and marketing's really just the tip of it. you're seeing the viewer behavior change. And this is this is really obvious. TV commercials, they're not such a big thing anymore, all right? So you're seeing the viewer behavior really dip when we're talking about TV and traditional broadcast. When we're talking about things like YouTube, we've got 1.5 billion active monthly users on YouTube. We've got 5 billion videos on YouTube. You've got Facebook that now favors video over any other type of content. Their algorithm actually pushes video to the top. So that digital kind of push out of content is just far surpassing the traditional type of video. So a company now might have a video strategy that looks a little something like this. And this is, keep in mind, this is very much just an example. I've just gone with the same budget because we're comparing apples for apples. But you might have a content strategy that looks like this now. You have your hero video still. You still need your TV commercial or something really shiny that puts your business in front of people and kind of sets the tone. You've then got your digital content. You've got content for Facebook. You've got Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, YouTube. You've got all these different formats of content that you need to be producing. And this might be per product as well. If you've got 12 products, you need a different piece of content for each different channel, for each different product. So it's really complex. And then you've got training and support content, which might be how to use your new lawnmower, how to lay turf in your backyard. This is the content that people really actually search for that holds value for the consumer. So there's a real kind of tiered system here. This is actually called Hero Hub Hygiene. It's a YouTube strategy that they put out a few years ago. It's quite common if you're in content marketing, but it's definitely worth looking into because these are the tiers that people actually, these are what they're looking for. This is what the consumer resonates with. So your budget, hopefully you have a production company like 90 Seconds that can do everything that you need from talking heads all the way through to TV commercials. You've got a hosting platform, say Brightcove, who are helping you push out your content. You're getting all your analytics and your data off the back of it. And you're recording KPIs against your content. You need to know what's working and what's not working, because when it comes time to ask for more budget, if you can show that it's successful, using your KPIs, it actually gives a kind of success rate to your content rather than just making videos for the fun of it. So we're looking at brands, for example, HP. They're using us across 17 countries and 4 different departments in each country, and they're sharing content between all of the departments and all of their regions. It's really, really important that you access economies of scale when you're creating content. HP is a really good example of that. They'll go out and create their big shiny TV commercial, and then from all of that raw footage and all of that content, they then create a whole bunch of social media footage, social media videos and training videos and all sorts. So you've really, really got to look at kind of scaling your video production, especially if you're a global business. So the question that I keep getting asked, and we get asked every day at 90 Seconds, is what is best practice content marketing and where should I be spending my budget? What we just talked about, there's so many channels, there's so many avenues that you could go. What is actually best practice? Unfortunately, I can't tell you, and the reason is it's different for every single department of every single business. Best practice marketing has to be determined by your target audience. So if your target audience are 40 plus women in the UK, you have to work out what they're watching, where they're watching it, and why they're watching it. And then you create content to resonate with them. If you're creating content for HR and training, what do the people want to see? How are you going to stand out from the rest? You really need to work out what your target audience wants to see and then determine your own best practice based on that. What doesn't change so much is the behavior of successful content marketers. It remains quite consistent depending on, it doesn't matter what business you're in, what industry you're in. The successful content marketers are all doing very similar things. I've got some observations here that you might be able to relate to. Good video content marketers are frugal with their budgets. And when I say they're frugal, they're demanding complete transparency when it comes to shoots, when it comes to outputs. How much did each thing cost? How much was each hour of that shooter's time? How much was each social media cut down? And why did I pay for an £800 taxi from here to there? The traditional method of creating video doesn't give that transparency. Good video content marketers are demanding transparency. I mean, it feeds into each other. You have to be asking your suppliers, where is my money being spent? Only then will you have control over your video content, and I guess content in general. It doesn't have to actually relate to content, video content. It can be literally anything that someone's supplying to you. Observation 3, good video content marketers do not settle for less than great. And what I'm saying here is that if you're going to the same pool of people to create your video content, or any content for that matter, you kind of get a theme of jack of all trades, master of none. What you want to be doing is using people who relate to your audience. So if we're targeting millennials, use millennials to work on your creative strategy. If you're targeting dads, talk to dads, find out what they're doing, look for videographers who relate to that audience. You really need to make sure that you're using the perfect people to create your content to then resonate to your audience. Data and analytics are key measurements to success. It's a no-brainer. You can't tell if your videos are successful or any content is successful if you're not measuring data and analytics off the back of it. It's so key. And successful video content marketers are not afraid to tread new ground. That's a no-brainer. If you're doing the same things that your competitors are doing, it's not going to stand out with so much traffic, so many videos passing everyone's eyes every single day. You need to think about new ground. What can you do to stand out? And that's across the whole business. Tech is disrupting video production right now. I say that from a tech company that does videos. I'm not going to stand up here and pitch it to you, but you should look us up if you are creating video and you want to do it in a more scalable and efficient way. But at the moment, you've got Brightcove here. I mean, they're doing amazing things with analytics and posting videos out to people, and we're creating them. So 5 things you can do right now. And I think I'll leave this as a takeaway. You need to reevaluate your team structures. If you're using an agency that you've been working with for 15 years to create all your content, chances are they're still in an old school mindset. Chances are you're getting quotes that have 1 million lines and 1 price at the bottom. Right? That's not on anymore. You need to demand transparency. You need to know how much each line item is costing, how much each hour is costing of their time. If they're not giving that to you, find some new ones. Demand transparency, I mean, feeds into the first one. Work with specialists. They are out there. This is about not settling for less than great. You need to find specialists for the type of content you're creating. It's a no-brainer. It's really, really clear because these people need to resonate with your audience. Know your target audience. There you go. Track engagement and respond to data. If you're looking at a video and you've posted it up and you've got your data and you can see that people are dropping off at the 15-second mark, change the video. Go back to your supplier, get a new one made, work out what it is, where people are dropping off, and change it. You need to be reactive to the data, and don't be afraid to try anything new. That's it from me. If there's any questions at all, fire away. But yeah, so 90 Seconds, I guess we are a cloud video production platform, and we're managing videos all over the world for about 2,000 brands. So thanks everyone for today.
Mitch, thank you very much.
Cheers.